Hello everybody, Mr. Pilgrim here, coming at you with our 10th video in our Platinum Trophy Guide for Ender Magnolia Bloom in the Mist. In the last video we'd gone through the Declan Estate, and we'd gained a new ability for our underwater travels. As you can see right here, Declan's Estate is just to the right of the Steel District here in the Central Stratum. Now from here it's basically using what we just got, which is going to first be put to use right here. As you'll see, whenever you're looking at something, you can determine if you have the ability or not to actually use it, or if you can access that. So we have at least 3 areas here. The first one is found here at the Sorcerer Academy, and then if we come over here to the Subterranean Waterway, we've got the Grand Sorcerer key that we can use as well, and then also here in the final disposal site we also have the growth or the motley turret we could use as well. There's a few places, as you'll see, that we can use some of this, but for the most part it's just going to be a mixture of wherever it is that you want to go. But for now, I'm going to try and hit up the order that I showed you guys. So here, we're going to come to this central plaza at the Sorcerer Academy, head down, and I'll show you this little area here. Alrighty, so from here, like I said, we're just going to be heading back down. Nothing too crazy. Excuse me. So here we just need to build up speed, like so. Head on through, and bam, just like that. And we'll have made it to our first of a few areas, as you'll see. We're now at the Arcane Factory, but I'm still going to show off the other 2 areas real quick, just so you guys can kind of get an idea. So we'll come back to the Subterranean Waterway. I'm going to show you where this magic gate key takes us before we take on our current area. So you'll have to bear with me with my sniffles. So from here, like I said, we're just going to head back. One of the upsides, though, to now having Motley and being able to move in the water is any enemies that are found in water are also more than likely going to give us more materials, scraps, and all that good stuff. So here we'll use that key that we got. Do note you do have to beat Declan's Estate, but here you'll see a land of origin. I'll kind of just show this area off. As you'll see, the enemies hurt. But we don't have the ability right now. So we'll just return and then head back to the next area. Basically, we need an upgrade in order to progress that little spot. So we'll just come back down to the final disposal site. Now do note I am going to be covering any and all of these areas that I haven't already explored fully, just so you guys are aware. As you'll see, though, the downside of this bottom path here is that it is in the water. So we'll just build up some speed here. There we go. And as you'll also see, this is another land of origin. And as you'll see, the water is basically destroying me. So as you'll see, two different lands of origin, as you'll see that we can find. They're kind of all like connected in this general area. You'll have this question mark down here in the crystalline realm. Don't worry, it all kind of loops back in on itself. But for now, we're going to head back and take on the arcane factory. Now, heading forward, you have basically one of two options. They both will lead to the same spot. You can head up or you can head down. So first off, heading down will then also be a way for you to then head up, as you'll see. I'm going to go with the upward path first and then show you the downward path. So heading on up here, we're then just going to head to the left. You'll have this room, more or less pretty straightforward, a couple of enemies. Ones that we've already seen from previous areas, but they're just a bit tougher. Down here, in a box, you'll find some scrap. And you can just pretty much proceed forward. Then you're going to head down first, as you'll see, and you'll enter this giant facility-like area with a bunch of conveyor belts and stuff. And then that will eventually lead you to this room here. Now, if you take the lower path, I'll show you now. Basically, all it does is bring you down. Boom, as you'll see, here's the elevator. Now from here, we're going to head off to the right real quick. In this room here, you'll run into Levy, and she'll give us a item. She'll give us the avian remains. We will restore those, and that will get us another trophy. So don't worry. That was really close. But from here, we're just going to then take the lower path, as you'll see. So starting off, you'll have this area here with a bunch of conveyor belts. And then you'll have these little fire flame spewers. Do be careful as to not die. But basically, it'll lead you over to these left and right sides. I'll skip to that now. Alright, so as you guys can see, we're now on the left side of that giant conveyor belt room. And we're going to be on the bottom section first. So heading in, we have our first little mini boss of the area, Nest. Basically, his whole thing is that he will summon little mob NPCs to deal damage to us. And while he has the giant dome around him, he can't take any damage. So it's best to take out the little mobs while you can. You can basically just sit on the ground and just attack. As you'll see, it's not a tough fight by any means. And just like that, Nest goes down. Pretty straightforward overall, like I said. And we'll get 3 special alloy amplifiers. Here we'll enter a new area, or somewhat of a new area, but here we have the upper area of the conveyor belt room. As you'll see, a bunch of parts that you can get, and you'll find this note. And then now basically from here we're just going to be proceeding forward. You can basically just dodge. See if I can get it right. There we go. Get that. But then we are going to just head back and continue up to that little upper area. So if you go back to the rest of it here, I'll just do a quick run through just so you see it. Just simply drop down. Then just take this up. Like I said, we're taking the upper path now. And just running through just to save on time. Dang boxes. But here we are, and as you'll see, we're now going to be up in this little upper area going forward. Now, heading forward, there's not much to tell. There's just a couple enemies in each room here, kind of similar to some of the areas in the Still District as you ascend. Then eventually you'll get to the top. As you'll see, nothing too crazy. But once you do make it to the top, the first thing you actually want to do is just quickly drop down here, grab this item for more HP, and then we can head on up. So you'll just grapple up, and then dash and hug the right wall to climb up and reach our next save. Let's see what all we can enhance in our abilities and see if anything's pretty worth it. None of my main abilities, so okay, that's alright. Now heading forward here, we have a kind of large room with a bunch of the gun enemies. The best way to deal with them is to simply bait them into attacking you and then moving into an optimal position to then attack them. But as you'll see as I'm navigating through this area, it's more straightforward. It's just being patient and waiting to then attack the one or two enemies that you have to deal with on hand. As you'll see though, once you do get rid of them, it does go fairly easy to navigate through. Now coming up here into the center of the room, we'll have some scrap we can grab. Then from here, we're going to come over to here, hop on up, and then you'll simply drop down into this little lower area, and then come into here. Now this room in particular is a bit odd, as you'll eventually come to see. There we go. So you basically have a bunch of these little grappler points that you're just warping between for the most part. If you come here off to the right, grab a charmed fragment to increase your HP. Then you can kind of hug this right side wall just a little bit. There we go. And then just up here on the right is a spare room with the chest inside. Another grimoire for more stuff for us to buy. So then from here, what you're basically going to be doing is then coming off to the left and then coming up. And then boom, just coming over to the left, and you'll be in this next big room. Now surprisingly, this room is really straightforward. You'll just come off here to the left, and then use these grapple points to then come back over to the right. From here, what you can do is you can just use this to come up here to the right and grab this item right here, a magic vial. Always nice to get. Then we can just use the same method to then come back up. And then we'll use this last grapple to come all the way over to the left. As you'll see, we're above the big room from earlier. And heading inside here, we have our next respite. Alright, so once ready, we can head on over and take on the area boss just to our left. However, beforehand, I'm going to state and try and give a rundown to show you guys, or help you guys out prepare for this fight. He does have a bunch of large sweeping attacks, so if you aren't good at parrying or using your R1 ability or Shackled Beast, you want to get good at dodging and have good spacing. He has a couple of fire attacks that he'll do, and then once he's in phase 2, he'll also start incorporating ranged attacks. So if you feel like you're struggling on this fight, don't forget to head all the way back here to the central stratum and check out the craftery, which I'm going to do right now, just to show you guys that it might not be you, it might be your equipment. So whenever you get the chance, you can always come back. In here you can obtain more items, of course, because we have found a few grimoires. As you can see, a new carapace. Might as well grab them while we're here. Like I said, we're gonna need to buy all of them anyways. Here we can grab a few more totems that we are going to eventually need to grab as well. Here we have a new relic and some model parts. So we're just gonna get everything that we can while we're here. And when we come back to this guy, as you'll see, we'll then get Hugin. I presume I'm announcing that correctly. That will then get us our next trophy, which is always nice for attuning Hugin. I assume it's almost the same as Moonin, or I don't know, the G and all that. But don't forget to also enhance whatever relics you might need as well, which is always nice. Like I said, if you haven't already done that, the first time you do that will get you a trophy. I'm going to definitely be increasing the Eye of the Ancients, because 20% cooldown reduction for all of your skills is always really nice to have. And then while I'm thinking about it, while we're here and right next to a save point is when you want to equip some new stuff. As you'll see, pretty much we have a lot of carapaces now. Some of them are a little bit different. Just depends on what it is that you like. I like the impact, but also the reflective carapace is also really nice as well. And then don't forget to check out any and all of your bracelets to see if anything stack up against each other to be better. Basically is best course. You don't want any negatives, you know. I don't know why I'm not looking at the left, I'm more looking at the right. but defense is always pretty good. I think that's really going to do it. And then if you want to, you can look at your totems and see if any of them really does anything for you. But if not, then we can head all the way back to our arcane factory and take on the boss. Once ready, we're going to take on the area boss. Like I said, you'll see what I mean when I say large sweeping area attacks. He hits really hard, so just be careful. Make sure that your parries and everything are on point. As you'll see, if not, you'll take large damage. Once in phase 2, like I said. He really hurts. Okay. Kind of hard to tell what's going on. But he eventually does go down all the same. There we go. Now from here we're going to head on to the left and finish out this area. Here we'll get our next upgrade, and that is going to be for Garm. And that'll get us our second trophy in this video. As you'll see, we can now head on up, come over here, grab this item, head on up, and we're back. Ta-da! Alright, so you're probably wondering, okay, well, where do we go from here, right? So, to get to the upper stratum, we now have to go right here, as you'll see. I'll try and show it off if I can, but if you come back to the Sorcerer's Academy, and then come over to here, I'll show you to try and end off this video. Alright, like I said, once you've made it back to this little side area here, all you're going to want to do is use your new ability that you've gotten with Garm, and just slowly make your way up. As you'll see, and just like that, we'll have made our way to the upper stratum. Alright, so once here in the upper stratum, the first thing we're going to do is just come up here and off to the left, and that is going to be our save point for this area. Now this is going to be the next area we go through. Like I said, the areas I showed off earlier, we're eventually going to go over, so don't worry. For the most part right now, we're just going to focus on what we have right in front of us, as the Land of Origin is a bit of a tougher area and requires a bit more overall amount of defense and a bunch of other abilities we don't quite yet have access to give us some more survivability. At least for right now. We are eventually going to have to go through there in order to get 100%, because that's what you have to do to get the Platinum Trophy. Don't worry, I got you guys. But anyways, this has been Mr. Pilgrim. I do hope that these guides and videos are helpful or informative in any way, shape, or form. And as always, I'll see you all in the next video.